Principal Royal College, Principal Trinity College, Chairman and members of the Rugby Dinner Committee, distinguished guests, and my 1982 teammates, fellow past Royal Ruggerites, good evening.
Good evening.
Today I have the honorable duty of proposing the toast to the school. The game of rugby, of course, is what brings us together tonight. Specifically, the Bradby Shield. This year marks the 75th anniversary of the Bradby Shield encounters. You've already heard my rugby history. So allow me to acknowledge the coaches who did so voluntarily and taught us much more than rugby football. Rohan Chikera and Michael Muller, Royal Captain in 73. Master Strategist Malik Samaravikrama, assisted by Dr. Fred Pereira, Captain 71. Summa Sir, Captain 1943. Former Sri Lanka Captain Dr. Indrajit Kumarasamy. And Captain of the 1970 team, Jagat Fernando. Arguably one of Royals' most talented sportsmen. As we celebrate 75 years of the Bradby Shield, it is useful to reflect on the vision on how and why the Bradby Shield came to be in the first place. It is in the magnanimous gesture of Trinity Principal, Mr. Lionel Fernando, who following the insurrections in 1971, aptly resonated the spirit of the Bradby by awarding the Bradby Shield to Royal College on the result of the first leg only. And it is in the composure and sportsmanship of Royal Captain in 1992, now Dr. Harindu Vijayasinghe, whose team respectfully stood aside the podium and applauded the Himesh Gunathilaka-led Trinity team, who had successfully defended and retained the shield when aggregate scores were tied that year. At this time, I acknowledge my 1982 team over here, and sadly, the 5 teammates who are no longer with us. Pemraj Piris, Sanat Samarakun, Sisila Ratnayaka, Sabri Marika, and Sampath Agalawatha, captain of the champion unbeaten 84 team. In 1982, we didn't win any trophies, but we kept the royal fame inviolate. I will share a personal experience that has relevance on many levels to what our country, beloved Sri Lanka, faces today. As already mentioned, I was selected to the Sri Lankan national team in 1984 for the 9th Asian tournament in Japan. My roommate for the 10-day tour was Navaratna, a 30-plus old, experienced prop forward from the army, a veteran of several Sri Lanka tours, a battle-hardened soldier, and a man of considerable life experience. For those of you old enough, you would recall the beginning of the civil conflict in the north, and by 1984, army casualties had risen from the dark days of July 83. Tension generally amongst the community and the forces was palpable. So you can imagine, me as a 21-year-old was somewhat intimidated and apprehensive. For the duration of that tour, Navaratna and I would converse, he in Sinhalese and I in English. Despite the many differences between our respective life journeys, here we were, singularly bound by the fact that we were sons of Sri Lanka. We got on quite well, But nevertheless, each night I would sleep with one eye open. In case the burly prop forward wanted to practice crouch, touch, pause and engage. On my debut for Sri Lanka versus Malaysia, CPP Abegunawal, our captain and scrum half, made a break on the blind side from a scrum 40 meters out. Rohanta Piris, captain of 70th team, created the overlap for me to score by the corner flag. The first man to lift me up and celebrate the try was my roommate Navaratna. The prop had been shadowing in support from that scrum 40 meters out. Fast forward 20 years, and we both happened to be holidaying in Sri Lanka at the same time. As we caught up and reminisced that tour, much to my surprise, Navaratna said that he was intimidated by me, a 21-year-old on that tour. When I asked him why, he simply replied, "Because you are from Royal College." Now, the definition of a royalist is quite elusive. To me, it is the blending of all those attributes, universally recognized as decent human behavior. Behavior that is appropriate to the situation. Compassion, empathy, responsible citizenry, accountability, and so on. Today, experts tell us that's emotional intelligence. The royal DNA is a rich tapestry of long-standing tradition, of the collective influence of staff, strong supporting old boys, and a diverse background of students. It is said that rugby is the game they play in heaven. So on a lighter note, I heard that last week, God had taken Trinity coach Rodney Soialo and Royal coach Dushanta Liuke for a walk. He took Rodney to a 2-bedroomed house with faded Trinity flags at the window and said, "Son, if Trinity wins the 75th Bradby Shield, you may have this house." Rodney seemed reasonably happy, but then noticed a much bigger house further up on the hill with marble arches draped with brand new Royal Rugby flags, a papare band playing in the garden, and cheerleaders holding up placards, "Go Royal." So Rodney says, "God, thanks for this nice house, but how the hell can Liuke have such a big mansion?" God looks quite bewildered. He looks at Rodney and says, "You idiot, that's not Liuke's house, that's my place." Who you are is a gift from your parents. Who you become is your gift to Royal. Gentlemen of Royal Rugby, please rise and let's drink a toast to Royal College.
Royal.
Thank you for your attention.
Good one.